evening, everyone. Good evening, and a very warm welcome to our DigitALL night here in the beautiful Paris, in France, in Europe. Thank you so very much for being with us tonight. My name is Berta Herrero. I am the head of Equality, Diversity, and Inclusion at Huawei in the European Union, and I couldn't be more happy to host this amazingly beautiful event tonight. DigitALL Night is a key part of our Huawei Connect global flagship event. This is the third stop of the global tour here in Paris. And what we are trying to do this evening is embrace the huge potential that our talents in Europe, but also worldwide, can afford for a fully inclusive, equal, and sustainable digital transition worldwide. So again, a very warm welcome, and without all due delay, let me kindly introduce you to our first speaker. Now, we were speaking about talent. You are talent. You are the heart of our innovations. In Huawei, the talent of our people is what drives us forward, and that's why we are so proud of our teams and so proud of all the graduates, all the students, and all the young people who are showing such a strong and beautiful interest in new technologies. So our first speaker tonight actually, for our welcome speech is no other than Mr. Jimmy Tian. He's the Vice President for Human Resources at the Western European region in Huawei. Mr. Tian, please join me on the stage.
Dear students and graduates, good evening and welcome to our Huawei Digital Night 2022. Same like at last year, we are very happy to be back in Paris. We're delighted to see all of you, now our future talents. Despite the difficulties caused due to the pandemic, we remain committed to creating a fully connected and intelligent world. At Huawei, we believe that the key to unlocking the future digital world are passion and adding value with vision to maintain a sustainable world. Almost 200,000 employees in more than 170 countries and regions have already joined us to achieve the great vision by living up to these core values. You will have heard that as a global society, we have entered the fourth industrial revolution, where the attraction and the retention of the highly skilled talents become increasingly more critical. Huawei values of ICT talents in Europe, and we strongly and continuously invest in the use and the development of the local talents all over Europe. At Huawei, we provide young talents with the support to realize their potential to become the best version of themselves and become successful future leaders. During today's event, we will provide you with insight into our different talents development programs, which we operate across Europe. Huawei offers a large number of diverse and specifically designed programs and activities for young talents, which include pre-graduate programs, such as our Seed for Future and the ICT Academy, and the Huawei Student Development Program, and various internship opportunities. We believe that we have something to offer to all of you, our potential future talents. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and we hope you will enjoy our inspiring keynotes and presentations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. That was such an inspiring welcome speech. And Jimmy spoke about diversity, the importance of having diverse talents, because it is diversity what makes our teams stronger. But not only, united in diversity is the motto of the European Union, which is also our home tonight. The European Union has this in common with Huawei. We believe that united in diversity, we are stronger and better prepared to face the future. So let me tell you one thing. Tonight, we are not alone here in beautiful Paris, in La France. Bonsoir. I'm looking at the camera because actually we have more than 1,800 students joining us worldwide. So a very warm welcome to all of them. They are joining us from Argentina to Indonesia, from Brazil to Sweden, from Greece to the UK, and from Turkey to Congo, and obviously also China. Thank you so much to all of you. But I was speaking about United in Diversity, and just as we are gathered here tonight, all of us together in Paris, we also have other gatherings. Namely, we have events going on in Germany, in the Netherlands, in Italy and Spain. So on behalf of all the people joining us here tonight, may I say, Guten Abend, Deutschland, Guten Abend, Netherlands, Buonasera, Italia, y buenas noches, España. Es un placer, it's a pleasure to have this global family present at our flagship event. And since we are in France, what better than to hear next in line from the president of Huawei France. He's Mr. William Shi, and he's ready to give us his welcome speech. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Berta. Yeah, I'm so happy to welcome all of you to Paris for this time. Personally, I stay in Paris for more than 6 years for working, but I studied 20 years ago in Reims, the Champagne Ardennes. So I hopefully that most of you that can also have the chance to taste the champagne, because this is the only brand in France, and I'm now doing the ambassador of the France culture. Yeah, this is also my great pleasure. I'm quite, surprised that the Beta speaks so many languages. I think this is also one of the advantages that working in Europe, that Italian, Espanol, French. I say all these languages is a very good language and a very beautiful language. Hopefully, I can meet you with the different nationalities. As you know, that Huawei is a global company. Today, we are present in more than 170 countries. Yeah, so as the president of Huawei in France, I would like to share some good information with you. Today, that we have in France almost 1,000 employees. And in this 1,000 employees, we have almost 300 scientific and also the researchers in our research and development department. And as you know, the key of the success for Huawei, and even in front of this complicated context, in front of the energy challenges and the geopolitical issues, the only way that we can get the trust from our customer is the innovation. If I want to say the second word, is also the innovation. If I want to say the third word, is also the innovation. Yeah, I think the innovation is the key, not on the performance of our product quality, but also on the services and on the new renewable energies. Yeah. So I want to ask you some questions. Of course, I prepared also some gift for you. This is extra, I think, récompensation. Yeah. So do you know what is the best technology in Huawei? Anyone can raise your hands. I know that you know very well Huawei technology, but what is the best? What is the most famous? Raise your hands, please. Yeah. 5G. Correct. Yeah. You can find my colleague Michel over there. Okay, now or after, okay? And the second question, is, does everybody know how to pronounce Huawei, right? Yeah. So what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What does it mean, Huawei? Do you know what does it mean, Huawei? Huawei is a Chinese word, but what does it mean behind? I prefer to select foreigner guys. I know a lot of Chinese know about what they mean Huawei, but is there anybody know? Yeah, the lady. Achievement. Partially correct. Is there another answer? The lady behind. Chinese achievement. Correct. Yeah. But I want to just complete Chinese achievement. That means Hua. There is a two word. Hua, that means Hua. Hua, that means China. Wei, that means do something. Yeah. So, you know, when our founder Ren Zhenfei created this brand 30 years ago, China is in a very poor situation. As you know, just after Second World War. Yeah, very poor situation, economic not growing. Yeah, so we create this company in the telecom, but we are very behind at that moment. So Ren Zhenfei created this brand. Want to make sure that in the future, yeah, Huawei, that means the company of Huawei, and also China can do something for the world. And today, now we are doing what we are doing. We are doing digitalization, and we are doing decarbonization. Yeah. This is two things is very important, and this is the key, I think, in front of this context. So we want to find a solution today, yeah, to resolve these two challenges. Yeah. So as you know, the pandemic, what has happened now is almost finished. Yeah. Only very few companies, very few countries, including also China, like Japan, yeah, they are very strict and also control, but most of the country today is already covered by the COVID. But the pandemic, as you know, accelerate. Of course, the pandemic is not good for the health, yeah. But the pandemic accelerate, yeah, enormously for the digitalization. A lot of companies before, they think just about if they do the digitalization or not. But today, their question is when they are going to do the digitalization. So a lot of people today has been already used to do the smart working. Yeah, so this is the opportunity that we find in front of the crisis. And now today, as you see, there is a big lack of the energy. Yeah, no gas, no oil today in France, as you know that, these days, and I appreciate a lot, of your presence in France because it's difficult to come to France. Yeah, and then in a couple of days, it'll be very difficult also to go back to your country because the strike in France will be happen also very soon. But we find also the opportunities behind is the acceleration, for the transportation, by using the new renewable energies. Yeah. So this is also the reason, a couple of years ago that we create our business in our digital power. Yeah, we create the new business, and the very few companies like Huawei today, we do our transformation for the digitalization, but we do at the same time the transformation of the energies. Yeah. So when I see all of you, since 6 years, we organize the digital all night. Yeah, and we strongly believe that the education is a so important element, for the innovation. Yeah, we need a new idea from your guys, and we need also the new innovation in the future. Yeah, we cannot stay the innovation only on this wagon, but we're really looking for the innovation in the future. I know most of you, have plenty idea of the innovations, to create a new business model, to create a new sales model, and to have the new technologies. Yeah, I know that what has happened in the world, including China and including Europe, a lot of new business model, new company just appeared. I very appreciate this kind of environment for the business and for the technologies. 10 or 20 years ago, when we are still using the feature phone, we think that this is already the world. This is already modern, because that allowed us to communicate each other from the different countries. But today, when we can see each other, when we can Twitter, and we can also Netflixing, for example, for some video, high definitions. Yeah, nobody knows in 10 years ago, so what the world can reshape. And now to reshape the world in the 10 years, it belongs to you. Yeah, so this is the reason that we organize every year, each year, to have this meeting together with all of you, because we want you, and we want your idea. This is very important for the technology like Huawei. So finally, I would like to say again, thank you, all of you, and hopefully that you can have a very good session for today. And don't forget that we have the party after the session. And enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, William. That was fantastic. And indeed, it was not easy to reach this destination today, but all the more, all the better, right? This is what important things in life do. They take time. So, before introducing our next speaker, I want to ask a question to the audience. How many women in tech do we have here? Raise your hands. Women in, how many, more? Yes, I see so many. If I count here quickly from the stage, continue. I would say between 100 and 200. 200 women in tech present with us today. A big applause for you. Now in Huawei, we believe that women in tech are indispensable actors to build a fully equal and sustainable future. And that's why I have been so proud to travel across Europe and meet our wonderful women in tech, our female engineers, our female managers as well. And they are a great, great example for all of us. Before we move on, I just want to name a few of them because I know that they are watching, and for them, this is very important, and so it is for us as well. Laura Resteghini from Italy, Agnieszka Priecak from Poland, Teresa Masla from the Czech Republic, Carolina Lopez and Beatriz Durao from Huawei Portugal, Carmen Gonzalez from Huawei Spain, and Andra Radut from Huawei Romania. You are, yes, thank you so much. That's a big applause for all our women in tech. Yes, yes, yes. We are extraordinarily proud of these women, and I want to mention their names, and that's why I did it, because they are fantastic role models. You know, we cannot be what we don't know exists. We cannot become what we simply don't know it's possible. And that's why I'm so thankful for our next speaker, because she's a role model. She's showing women all across Europe, young to old, what is possible and the role that women can play not only in the digital transition, but also in the green transition, which for us tonight is a key priority. So our next speaker is Professor Phoebe Konduri. She's a professor in the Athens University of Economics and Business, and also in the Technical University of Denmark, but not only. Professor Phoebe Konduri is also the president of the European Association of Environmental and Resource Economists, and also the chair of the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network in Europe and the Global Climate Hub. So who better to deliver this opening speech than Professor Phoebe Konduri, our role model. Professor Konduri, please welcome to the stage.
This is a lovely view. Such a nice audience. Well, I'm gonna start by saying thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for giving me the privilege to talk to the young, to talk to the future. Unfortunately, the future does not seem very hopeful at the moment. We are in the midst of multiple crises. The pandemic, and let me tell you that we know that there are 6,000 additional viruses that can make the cross-species leap at any time. We are also facing economic recession and inflation, possibly leading to stagflation. We are facing the climate crisis. We are facing biodiversity collapse. Even before the war in Ukraine, we started facing the energy crisis. It has been mentioned. With the geopolitical crisis in Europe, we are also facing the food crisis. And globally, we have a population crisis as well, and an increasing inequality crisis, multiple crises. And they have to be dealt with simultaneously. What is the future? What is the hope? What are we inheriting? What are we giving to you? Well, at least we have a blueprint. We have a blueprint that can showcase how we can solve these multiple crises simultaneously. And our blueprint is only one. It's the only global agenda in addition to the Charter of Human Rights, and it's the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. 17 goals about the society, the economy, and their interaction with the environment. 169 targets within them that showcase how, in an integrated, systemic, and holistic way, we can restructure, we can transform our world in order to get on a pathway that is really good for us, for the future generations, and provides resilience for our environment, our society, and our economy. We have the blueprint. However, the pathway in order to get to sustainability goes through what has been already mentioned, the green and digital transition. And if you look in Europe, it's the leadership example that tries to transpose this green and digital transition into policies, and through this policy framework, stimulate the technological innovation that is needed and identify the financial instruments and investments that need to be made in order to really implement in an accelerated pace this green and digital transition. Because we definitely need to hurry. We are lacking time. The climate crisis, the biodiversity collapse crisis, the energy crisis, the food crisis cannot wait. And what Europe is doing, it's really instrumental. First, we had the European Green Deal, 4 main axes: climate neutrality by 2050, clean tech leadership by companies, reduction of pollution and biodiversity protection, and of course, inclusiveness, leave no one behind. And then we had the pandemic. 2019, we had the European Green Deal. 2020, we had the announcement of the pandemic. And what did Europe do? Well, it retained the European Green Deal as its growth strategy. It didn't say, oh, green and digital is a luxury now, we need to survive. No, it says we are gonna recover from COVID through our green and digital transition. And that's why the European Union allocated an additional 750 billion euros to investments additional to the multi-annual financial framework of Europe, to investments that are green and digital. And let me give you what kind of investments are financed by the EU Next Generation, this additional 750 euro. In the digital section, investments that improve connectivity, improve cybersecurity, increase, support digital skills, and of course, investments that allow deployment of cutting-edge technologies. And we think in regards to green, well, it finances decarbonization of power and industry. It finances circular economy solutions. It finances restoration of biodiversity and immobility. If you're wondering what is the future in the job market, well, I just gave that to you. These green and digital areas that are really the heart of the green and digital transition. And not only Europe, but in every country of the world. The SDGs cannot be achieved only in some places or in the developed world. The SDGs can be achieved only if all of them are achieved in each and every country of the world, because the problems we are facing are global, and the solutions can only be global. And what you need to note is the following. The pace of technological advancement is faster than ever before in human history. And this is our hope, because with so many huge and existential crises, one will feel unable to respond. However, this pace of technological advancement makes us hopeful that we will be able to respond to these big and difficult and unprecedented challenges that we are facing, existential challenges that we are facing. However, please also note, the SDGs are very holistic, very interdisciplinary, very systemic. We cannot work in silos of one science. We cannot work in silos between universities and industry. We need to bring everything together. And for you, the big challenge will be how your generation, but also in general human race, will become able to keep upskilling and reskilling at a pace that is concurrent with the pace of technological advancement. Let me also continue a bit with what is happening in Europe. Let's go to 2021, just to give you additional hints on the sciences and technological skills that will be relevant for your generation, that are already relevant and will continue to be relevant in the job market. In 2021, we have the EU taxonomy. The EU taxonomy tries to divert capital to whatever is considered sustainable. And again, sustainable in the EU taxonomy are investments which are relevant to climate adaptation, mitigation, circular economy, protection of biodiversity, protection of water and marine resources. So you see what kind of investments are gonna get good financing. Together with this, the EU taxonomy introduces a sustainability directive, corporate sustainability directive, ESGs, environmental social governance criteria, and SDGs to be transposed into new business plans, into new transformative business plans for companies. Knowledge of this is crucial and is needed in the market, and is not there. What is there is not deep and cannot provide the backbone of a solid transformation that will not just be green and digital, but will be profitably green and digital, and will showcase that the companies that adopt innovations faster will be the companies that will gain the bigger share of the market. And then again, 2021, the EU issues Fit for 55. 13 new legislative proposals that have to do with the commitment of the EU to become, to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 55% compared to 1990. There we have a revision of the emissions trading system, a revision of the land use regulation, the inclusion in effort sharing regulation of aviation, of cars, vans, shipping, the revision of the energy efficiency directive and all this. There you see a plethora of new expertise, knowledge that is needed in order to produce the new materials, the new processes, the new products, the monitoring devices, the assessment devices, the financial instruments that are needed in order to implement this legislation. And of course, 2022, with the war, we have the big announcement of the Repower EU, which says independence from fossil fuels, especially Russian ones, but I would say all fossil fuels, regain connectivity that was disrupted by COVID, and of course, focus on renewables, wind, solar, offshore wind, geothermal, focus on circular economy, focus on nature-based solutions, focus on climate adaptation, because we have to have the early warning systems and the infrastructure to protect our citizens from the increased frequency and severity of extreme weather events, which is what climate change is for us, and of course, digitalization. So at the moment, we are looking for the optimal mixture of all of this to guide technologically our pathway from where we are to a green and digital future, a future that will implement the SDGs in a holistic and systemic way, and will get every one of us on a pathway that is sustainable. I want to close this by saying that focus on the new skills, and your focus should be either on science together with research and innovation and engineering and technology to produce the technological solutions. But also, another big area that needs a lot of new talent is the interdisciplinarity and transformative skills, like systems thinking and monitoring and assessment of all these processes that will get us on the sustainable path. And a third area is the normative one: equality, distribution, support of social cohesion. I will close by saying that the pace of technological progress is our hope. It is unprecedented, and we now know that what is the one most important thing that we need to learn at universities is how to continuously learn. Because by the time you finish university, there will be new technological advancements and new ways of thinking. So you should equip yourself with the ability to have lifelong learning. Our universities are not yet there. Our universities work in silos. Our universities do not provide you with the interdisciplinary backbone that you need. However, it is part of this big transformation that we want to achieve to bring the universities into a state that can really provide education, that can implement the green and digital transition, and can holistically implement the SDGs. And we thank Huawei for trying to do that, and we need to investigate further and harder ways to bring universities, the industry, the job market, the research and innovation together in order to get all this talent from you and integrate it with the experience of the existing research professors and provide the society well-being, provide a society that is really sustainable and supports the sixth transformation. Welfare and health, sustainable cities and communities, sustainable industry and decarbonization, the digital revolution for sustainable development, and of course, education and equality. These are the 6 transformations that drive the SDGs, and they are all subject to a good, holistic, integrated collaboration between the disciplines and between education, industry, and the society. We all count on you, and we are here to help for the transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Konduri. That was a really, really inspiring speech. And she said it very well. You are the future, your talents are the future, and your talents are the key to innovation made in Europe. This is our next challenge, innovation made in Europe, which in Huawei we are fully supporting. Professor Konduri was talking about the importance of working with universities in Huawei. We have trained more than 4,000 people in ICT through our educational programs since 2011. We are talking about ICT Academy, we are talking about Seeds for the Future, and about many more initiatives that are happening right here, right now. For example, let me tell you about the Women's Academy for Rural Innovation that Huawei is going to be very proud to be hosting in Spain in just 1 week from now. We will train women from different rural areas from across Europe to unleash the full potential on digital technologies and use them from the beauty of our villages to shape a more inclusive and sustainable digital transition that leaves no one behind. And without all due delay, let's go to our next speaker who is going to provide the tech keynote on exploring the intelligent world. He is Mr. Christophe Petiard, and he's the Deputy Director for Network Solutions in Western Europe, and of course, also Huawei's Western Europe Network CTO. Thank you, Christophe, and please welcome.
Hello. Welcome in this tech session. I'm Chris. I'm French. Sorry for that. I shouldn't have too big French accent. Anyway, I'm the Deputy Director for Network Solutions in Western Europe. I'm the tech guy of this session. I will try to provide to you just a few visions of where we are going from a technical point of view. Just one question. What will be 2030? Who have any clue? We don't even know, even myself, what I'm going to do next week. So what about 2030, right? From a technical point of view, at least we have clear directions. First, the data is booming. It's growing 23 times till 2030. The numbers of data will be produced by 1 yottabyte. It's just huge. Another thing, we're going to reach 200 billion connections for the network. It means everything. Data and network is just booming. If you just get the point, it means that how and what we're going to do with all these data. It's nice to have it, right? But it's just a sort of record and interpretation of the world. It means, okay, we've got data. Nice. Okay, so what do we do with this? We just recorded something. So just keep in mind that by 2030, data will be virtually in everything. Everything. Everything will be related to data. That's something you just have to give in mind. Data will just be the fuel. It means it's the way. It's just something you will use to solve the problems. So on the perspective point of view, it will help you to solve some problems such as global warming, aging population, or plastic pollution. It's just a way, okay? But this way, you, all of you here, for 2030, you will determine how you will solve this problem. It relies on you. Every technical company such as Huawei, we can provide technology. You will provide the way to use it. So just keep this point in mind. In Huawei, we are really, truly optimistic. Why? Just one number. Huawei is investing around $20 billion a year in R&D. Why? Because we are here to prepare a better future, not only for Huawei, but globally speaking. On the technical point of view, we are always trying to lead innovation to provide more ways to solve the challenge of our customers. So this is the DNA of Huawei. This is what we are doing. This is what the company is done for. Provide value, provide some solutions for our customers, for the world, to create intelligent world. This is what we are here for. So keep in mind also that all the solutions we provide, 5G, optical and IP networks, IoT, cloud, AI, of course, Huawei is investing a lot on AI. This will be rolled out rapidly, very fastly, because we are here to push this. You are here to learn this and to use it, of course. But the way also you will use it will depend on you. We provide some tools. The way you use the tools will depend on you. There are some clear examples how to solve these kind of problems. For example, precision farming. For centuries, farmers just relied on their experience for crops and then get harvests. And okay, they just did it well, okay? But now, thanks to the AI, IoT, sensors, and so on, they can get the data to know how to better use water, pesticides, and fertilizers. So they can produce more by using less. If you go to medicine, 60% of the population will die because of its way of life. Look at me. Sorry. Usually, the medicine is used just to do some treatment, but not to do some ways to preventions. We are used to say, you've got this, you're going to die, sorry. While now, by biometric sensors, AI, cloud, and all this kind of technology, we will be able, by 2030, to predict all the disease you could have. So this is the trend. This is how you can solve this type of problems. If you go to energy, everyone is focusing right now because of today's situation on how to solve the energy. Okay, ICT is always using technology. In Huawei, we are providing some technology to use less electricity and to provide more services anyway. This is also why we're investing in R&D. But if you look, for example, on construction sectors is counting for about 36% of the total energy consumption. I think no one was aware of this, right? You always think it's just industry and so on. But for energy construction, it's 30% of the global pollution, and 37% of the global usage of CO2 is done also by construction, I mean buildings. So if you use the technology to solve the neutral carbon balance between what you use and what you solve, you can use sensors such as IoT, smart building, AI. Combined with all this, the building will be more or less self-intelligent. It will define, are you in the building, yes or not? How many people will be in the building? 5, 10, hundreds? So it will be able to decide, should I warm up this building? Should I use the air conditioner? Should I light off the lights? All this will reduce the power consumption related to the buildings. So this type of example shows you how we can reduce the energy consumption in very simple ways, finally. As a conclusion, I think you got my point. Of course, for all of that, we need data. Data is just the fuel. But we need collaboration. Huawei is a huge company. We are a huge company. But anyway, to run all these points, to run all these technologies, we can do 5G, cloud, AI, IoT, IP, optical networks, whatever. We can provide a lot of technology from Huawei side. But on a standalone mode, Huawei cannot run everything. For this, we need partners. We need ecosystems. We need workers. We need entrepreneurs. And of course, we need students, because without new blood, the company will drop down. And we need partners to use this technology to make sense and to have some use cases. So for this point, I would like to welcome Moran Heyue, the CEO and founder of MirSense. Please welcome Moran.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Christophe. So I'm also the tech guy of the night, I guess. But we're all a little bit tech, I guess, tonight around the green technology, green innovations. I'm the CEO and co-founder of MirSense. And MirSense is actually making the invisible visible. So it's like when I'm wearing those glasses here. As soon as I put it, I can see what's going on around you. I can see the air you breathe, the water you drink. I can see all those different things. And this is what we do at MirSense. So let's try where you are living here. So I'm asking you to scan this QR code here. Let's do it now. And let's see what is the air around you, what is the noise around you, in your house, around your city, anywhere in the world. Again, thanks to those glasses, thanks to the data, thanks to bright students, bright engineers, we are making the invisible visible anywhere in the world. And we can go down to 10 meters by 10 meters. So it's a very high resolution. What is very interesting to understand is that today, you guys, you are facing a major challenge around green technologies, around green innovations. Maybe you are actually facing what we call the green anxiety. But good news, we can prevent it. You are the one who can help to prevent it. Today, the environment is the first challenge around the world. 13 million people are dying every year because of the environment. The actual air quality that you're breathing is killing actually more than just smoking cigarettes. This has to change. We have to change. You have to change it. 80% of chronic disease around the world are mostly related to your life, to your environment, to your immediate environment. It's costing $8 trillion of health impact every year. Just today, I don't know if you read it on the newspaper, France has been actually getting a fine of 20 million euros because they are not aligned with the air quality requirement for the country of France. And this is all around the world like that. We have to change it. Good news, it's preventable. First things is to make the invisible visible. What we do at MirSense. At MirSense, we are making revolutions. We are actually able to predict, based on your environment, what are the kind of disease you are going to get in the next coming years. At the age of 30, you're already losing around 15 months of good life expectancy, good health life expectancy. This has to change. You can change it, we can change it. We harness the power of environmental data around the world, and this allows you to prevent and improve health and well-being. So now, by now that I'm here, you have been able to check the environment around your place, your house, your school, and see what is actually the gap between your perceptions and the actual environment. In many places around the world, the environment is not that good. But in many other places, in many times in the day, it's actually just wonderful. So be optimist, be positive. We can do things, we can change things, we can make the environment again great again. We are part of the sustainability, SDG number 3 and number 11, which is about health and good health. It's all about sustainability around cities and populations. And we also are green tech innovators, certified and labeled by the French minister. How do we do that? We do that around air, around water, around pollen, around UV, whatever, you name it, whatever is around you, we can actually modelize it around the world. This is what the data and the power of artificial intelligence can do. We analyze the environment, we monitor the environment, we anticipate and predict the environment, and also we personalize it so that you can act at your level. Any stakeholders can act around the environment. How do we do that? It's actually, we are using satellite data around the world, either from Copernicus for Europe or NASA from the US, in order to modelize this environment 10 meters by 10 meters. We bring the satellite, we bring sensors, we bring the fact there is a train, that there is traffic, the size of the buildings, the fact there is trees, the fact there is water, the fact that there is populations. All those elements, thanks to the artificial intelligence, we can tell you what is the situation around you. And this is the first actions. By making the invisible visible, you can act right now. Let me give you 2 or 3 examples. Like the automotive industry is using our data, for example. So for all hybrid cars, when they enter in a zone where we modelize the environment and air quality and noise quality, and if it's above the norms, then the car will slow down automatically to move down to electric motors to avoid creating pollution wherever the car is actually driving. Let me give you a second example. We just mentioned just before by Christophe that the environment is mostly polluted by the constructions. So we are working now with major construction companies around the world to actually link the air quality indoor and outdoor to ensure that we can be as efficient as possible in terms of energy efficiency for all the ventilation systems, heating and cooling systems. That's helped to reduce by 30% the energy consumptions. Last but not least, something totally different, like a beauty care business. They are using our data, for example, to tell you which kind of cream you should wear today because of the humidity, because of the tap water, because of the air quality. And at the end, it will tell you how to improve and to reduce the impact of the environment on your skin. So all those use cases can be imagined. You are the one who are actually creating the imaginations. It's time for you to act. It's time for you to respond. It's time for you to innovate in green technology. Last but not least, first actions. Let's stand up all together. Please stand up, please. Please. So the first things to do in life is for you to stretch. You have to wake up. You have to be there. You have to be here. So please stand and stretch. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And now I'm going to take a picture because we are digital, so I want to do it all together. Please keep doing it. Here we go, here we go. One more. Are you guys ready? Yes? Woo! Yes. Now that you're all standing, thank you very much for this standing ovation. Thank you very much.
Well, I must say that I loved this bit of exercise, and who didn't, right? Today we didn't have time to go to the gym, so this was absolutely fantastic. We all have to stay awake, and we all have to stay looking forward, looking to the future. And you know, in days like this, I remember actually what our chief representative to the European institutions, Tony Jean, always says, which is that we are in Europe for Europe. And he means it because it's true. We are talking, and you are the living proof of this, of long-term talent cultivation. In Huawei, once you enter as a student, you leave as a leader ready to take on any challenge that the digital revolution might bring. And for this, and to tell you more about this, I want to introduce you to our next speaker, who is going to deliver a talent keynote speech on cultivating and retaining talent for a sustainable world. She's my dear colleague Leslie White, and she's our Deputy Vice President for Human Resources at the West European region. Everyone, please welcome Leslie.
Well, hello. We've heard a lot tonight, so it's my pleasure to be here, back again in Paris, and as mentioned, I will be talking about cultivating and retaining a talent for the future. So, let me give a quick introduction. So, I want to say welcome everyone here in Paris and on site, and also to everyone that's joining online. So, I will very quickly introduce myself. So, as mentioned, I am Leslie White, and I've had an amazing journey in Huawei. It has been absolutely the best. I started in the UK office in 2005, and unbeknown to me and beyond my expectations, my journey took me to Shenzhen to work in our headquarters. And then I had the honor to come back and be part of the regional HR team based in Düsseldorf. Now, did I imagine that would happen? Absolutely not. So what I'm hoping to share with you through the next few slides, that within Huawei, anything is possible. So, for us, we believe dedicated employees are Huawei's absolute key assets, as they help the company create value. Huawei's approach to human resources is defined by 3 words: positive, open, and diverse. So we welcome all types of talent, and that doesn't matter what type of role you are applying for, because you all bring your unique value to our business and our operations. We want to give talented young people, everyone here, everyone online, as many opportunities as possible. We actually want our talent to shine. So Huawei is continuously searching for talents. So talents with ambition. No matter what job, as I said, it doesn't matter. You must have the ambition. We value your commitment to make best use of your own potential. Only you know how far you can go. Only you know how far you can push yourself to be successful. Passion. Our industry is evolving quickly, as you have heard already. And the only way to keep pace is by acquiring new knowledge, and acquiring that knowledge on a continual basis. Past success is not an indicator for future success. So our talents need to keep learning, continuous learning. Now, within Huawei, we actually have many opportunities. The opportunities for graduates within Huawei is absolutely vast. We offer a comprehensive and intensive 6-month training program. We want to quickly integrate you into the business, so as talent, you can shine quickly, as I mentioned. The program consists of 4 key phases. Firstly, our new employee orientation training, followed by hardware installation as an example, and then thirdly, professional training, and then finally, phase 4, very key, which is on-the-job practice. You learn by practicing. So my screen's gone, so I have to come over here. So you can see how rich and comprehensive the 6 months training will be. So Huawei offers dual career paths, and there are plenty of opportunities for continuous development. You will always find the right opportunity at Huawei to play to your strengths and your passion, all of which is fully supported by the training programs covering all stages of your career development, fully enabling individual growth. So our goal is to provide you with the infrastructure for you to realize your potential. We want you to do this through our various talent programs. So we will see some examples from all of these talent programs. We will have a panel discussion from our Seeds for the Future. We will have 2 showcases from our ICT Academy and a Tech for All. So I won't go into detail here, but you will see that after my session. So while we started the Seeds for the Future program back in 2011, covering multiple European countries, nearly 3,000 European students have benefited from this program, and we have collaborated with more than 500 top universities worldwide. And through this program, we are assisting the European Commission 2030 Digital Decade Vision of 20 million ICT specialists and gender convergence. So the ICT Academy, this offers a comprehensive range of learning pathways, a course for everyone. It offers professional certification and general introductory courses, theory plus labs, experiments plus simulation tools, etc. The key point here is that it is offered on a free basis globally with recognized industry certification and exam vouchers. So we believe that the ICT Academy will provide increased job opportunities for young people such as yourselves. Whether you join Huawei or not, or any other organization, we will provide this to you free. Now, also, the Huawei Student Developer Program. Now, this is a relatively new program, and it was launched in Europe in 2020. And we will again see an example of this. The program is designed to help students on their respective journeys to becoming tomorrow's tech pioneers. And we need tech in many, many areas, as already shared. So, HSD offers students the opportunity to expand their scope of knowledge in a dynamic peer-to-peer learning environment. Student developers of any skill level are welcome to join. In addition, students can also become HSD ambassadors, whereby through extra activities and extra involvement, you will gain leadership skills, access to global network benefit from mentorship opportunities, and have the potential to attend global events, such as we have some here today, and connect with Huawei experts. In addition to the programs you have just seen, Huawei also provides student competitions. The aim is to constantly offer exploration opportunities to university students and young people with an interest in STEM subjects. These, we want you to participate in challenging and real-world topics. Winners receive scholarships and internships. Previous themes have included future ICT digitalization, autonomous driving, and cybersecurity. To date, more than 4,000 students from 25 universities in countries have participated in the program. Over the next 5 years, Huawei will invest further into this program to cover 10,000 students from Europe. Now, the Western European ICT competition is now entering its 7th year. Last year competition, we actually had more than 150,000 students register. There are 3 levels to the competition: national, regional, and global. All students can win prizes at each level. And as I said, we will hear an example showcase just after my session. And finally, I wanted to share with you, at Huawei, we know how important it is to promote gender equality, especially in the technology sector. So Huawei launched the Women in Tech programs. So you can see this program covers 3 elements: tech for her, tech with her, and tech by her. So, for example, Huawei Ireland launched Tech for Her scholarships and exchange opportunities to female students specializing in STEM subjects. And also, Huawei Spain provided training resources to local female students to encourage female leadership in the future, especially in the technology area. So, in closing, I want to thank you for being here tonight, and I encourage sincerely each and every one of you to believe that you can achieve anything. You can do anything. Anything is possible as long as you have the passion and you have the drive to succeed and have a continuous learning mindset. So enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Leslie. That was really, really great. And I know it because I was looking at our audience. And, you know, we love phones, we love smartphones. But during your speech, I saw very little number of smartphones, which means that you captured the heart of our students present here. And that's so beautiful. So we were talking about open innovation for a sustainable Europe. That's one of the causes that brings us here today, right? And we were also talking about hearing from innovators. This is very important. It's not just talking, it's also walking the talk. So who better to tell you how innovators are working together to build a digital Europe than the innovators themselves, than some of our students. So I'm very proud to now present the Huawei Student Challenge, which is going to take us a few minutes. And the first speaker, our first student who is going to share with you his projects, is going to be Jason J. Ducarun, Huawei ICT competition winner. So let's all welcome Jason to the stage. Thank you.
Okay, so, bonsoir, good evening. I am Jason J. Ducran, representing Team White Knights from the University of Reading from the United Kingdom, here to present our smart carbon emissions tracking solution. So, recently the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, announced that several regions within the UK would be under the air pollution warning, following a COP conference that was held in Glasgow, Scotland, UK. Numerous news outlets, including BBC, The Independent, Sky News, all mentioned the Mayor's request to reduce carbon emissions from unnecessary car journeys. But did you also know that the UK's transport sector contributes to 27% of greenhouse emission gases? European countries in general contribute to 2.4 million pounds of CO2 per second. And finally, this is growing at an annual rate of 4% per annum. As you can see, these numbers are extremely high, and it's time to find alternative solutions to solve this crisis. And so, let's talk about our proposed solution. We wanted to combat this problem by introducing a smart carbon emissions tracker app. We wanted to bring a system that would allow for vehicles to be integrated with an app to track your carbon emissions release from a train or car, whether that's diesel or petrol. By doing so, the user will then be able to use integrated GPS tracking. And so, for example, if myself, I had a car, I'd be able to check the app and see, for example, how far I traveled, the carbon emissions are released from the vehicle, and this would all be shared with the consumer. And finally, an incentive. Who doesn't love a reward? By introducing a royalty reward scheme, for every mileage you save, you'd earn points, redeemable towards any one of your prizes, whether it's Amazon gift vouchers or any sort of free gifts. So, during the development of our product, we proceeded with developing a simulation, as you can see, to calculate the emissions released from a train, whether it's diesel, including a diesel car. And as you can see from the top right numbers, if a consumer was to travel by train, the total carbon emissions would be extremely high. But we also need to consider the total number of passengers on the train, which would be approximately 500. If you then consider the carbon emissions released from a diesel a diesel car, yes, it may be much lower, but the total consumption per user would be much lower if traveled by train. We then use this knowledge to then develop an application, as you can see on the right-hand side. So we used the Google App Services to develop an app so that the user can enter their host and destination, calculate the distance from host to destination using the mileage, and then provide each vehicle they may have registered to their household. So as you can see, I've got 3 nice cars, which is not too bad. And so the user will then be able to see the carbon emissions released based on the vehicle. And now I'd like to turn your attention to the competition that brought us here in the first place. So I'd like to thank Leslie once again for launching the Huawei Academy Global ICT Competition of 2022 and 2023. And I'd highly encourage every single one of you to register, as this is the opportunity that brought us here to this stage. And this competition provided us with the opportunity to showcase our talents and present our smart innovation to you today. So, we started this competition representing our university, the University of Reading, at the 6th annual competition. We were successful at national stage, qualifying to the regional level, representing Western Europe, and then qualified to the global finals. During the global finals, we presented our concept to a panel of experts, and out of 150,000 students in over 85 plus countries, we came first, and we won first prize for the innovation track in the global finals at Shenzhen, China. So when the results were announced, and we found out that we won and first prize, we were all overjoyed, extremely proud to have represented our university, our nation on such an illustrious stage. All of our families also shared the same emotions, knowing that our hard work finally paid off and our vision became a reality. So, as part of the Huawei competition 2022-2023, there are 2 pathways, practice and innovation. Within the practice pathways, there are 3 tracks, network, cloud, and computing. And in effect, there are 4 competitions to enter for, network, cloud, computing, and innovation. And so, as I mentioned, we entered and succeeded within the innovation track for 2021-2022. And so if you'd like to know more, please do visit the ICT Academy booth. And once again, I'd heavily encourage all students to partake in this competition. And who knows, we may see you presenting your vision on this very stage next year. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your time. If you do have any questions, feel free to come into our booth. Merci beaucoup et je vous souhaite une bonne soirée. Merci.
Jason, that was amazing. Thank you so much for your contribution. And it is the talent of your team and of teams like yours that makes us so hopeful about the future. So moving on to our next speaker, he's going to be Victor Pérez Jiménez from Barcelona. He just told me, by the way. And he is our 2021 Apps Up winner. So, Victor, por favor.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Victor, and first of all, I would like to thank everyone here in the room, either in person or online, for the immense opportunity you're giving to me by listening to this presentation. Before everything else, I would like to start with one very simple thing that I would like to show you real quick. Sorry. Yeah, that's simple. That is how simple it is to operate Clover, the new iteration of a pill reminder application, Huawei, which was the winner of Apps Hub 2021. In this presentation, I'm going to highlight a bit about what Clover does. First of all, highlighting a bit of the functionalities it does. Then the different awards and recognition it led thanks to the Huawei community, like HSDN Apps Hub. And then I will just be really quick about some HMS open capabilities that make Clover reach the point in which today it is. So Clover is packed with really diverse and unique features you can't really find in a classic pill reminder application. So far from the classic white and green interfaces filled with charts and complicated buttons, Clover is, both before everything else, a really, really simple user interface. Then with the help of Huawei APIs and open capabilities, you have some never seen before functionalities in a pill reminder application, such as pharmacy finder, contextual notifications, such as warning you about when you're about to run out of medicine, and fully working Harmony OS watch devices compatibility. Now, before, why am I here today? Today, I would like to introduce you HSD, as you've heard before. HSD is a Huawei community, a student community, in which you can interchange knowledge with other developers. And from time to time, they organize different contests and different events. One of these took part in December 2020, which was HSD contest. And that was the place, the time in which Clover was born. After that, what I presented was only a prototype, but I was able to do it and develop a fully working application in just 3 weeks, thanks to the power of Huawei capabilities. After that, after winning the first contest, I decided to continue the project and then apply to Huawei Apps App, which is the contest that actually had finished accepting submissions the week before. Now, this led to some massive recognition. After winning Apps App, Huawei gave me this opportunity, and I was really lucky to be able to be given. This led to massive recognition not only by national press in Spain, but also some international media inside other regions of Europe and the world. In case you want to know a bit more about how did it do it, how did it work, everything's owed to the Huawei open capabilities. So position yourself as if you were going to start using this application. You most likely would start by, of course, opening the application. But bear in mind that in case you open it in certain times of the day, the interface would start changing. So as you can see in the screen, you can see the whole user experience from dialogues to menus and everything in between gets automatically adapted to the time of the day you are in, no matter the time zone. This is thanks to the Huawei Awareness Kit, which gathers information about the context and helps developers to create seamless experiences in context with what's happening in the outside world. Now let's say you're new to Paris, like me, for example, and you come from very far and you run out of pills. And you want to say, hey, I don't know where to get my pills. I would like to get some. I need them real quick. Huawei, with Clover in collaboration with Petal Maps, with the power of Petal Maps, has a fully working pharmacy finder in which, with one click, you can just get the nearest pharmacies near you. In case you don't know whether there's a certain medicine or you want to book certain medicines, you have a direct call button, which integrates perfectly with your phone functionality inside your smartphone. And in case you are driving or using any other means of commuting, you can also send directions directly to your watch to get the directions into your wrist. And last but not least, of course, modern phones, technology have different accessibility functions, big text, lots of different things. But plain paper doesn't. Plain paper doesn't. Receipts often are small-sized. Some names are complex to remember. Huawei solves this problem. Clover comes to resolve this problem with the ML kit. The ML kit, in this case, was applied to OCR, optical character recognition. Everything is done inside your device and will write for you all you need for completing your medicine in just under a half a second. And that's all from my part. I will see you, in case of you're more interested about HSD or Clover, on the open stage at 9:30. And here you have my LinkedIn in case you want to connect. And again, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Victor. That was fantastic. Now, no one has an excuse to ever forget to take a pill again. And moving on quickly, because here in France, it's almost dinner time. Well, it's actually Spanish dinner time almost. And in America, the other side of the Atlantic, for those watching us also in South America, it's lunchtime. So let's go very quickly to our next speaker. His name is Malik Tiomoko, and he's a senior research engineer at Huawei. So please welcome Malik to the stage.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Malik Tiomoko. I'm a research scientist at Huawei. And I would like to share with you my experience as participant of the hackathon that was organized by Huawei in 2021. So I think the story started 4 years ago when I finished my Master of Machine Learning. I was so excited about what I learned. And so I wanted to face really Grandmaster of data science. And so I decided to subscribe to Kaggle challenge. And so I decided to win prizes. It was like 1 billion euro. And the first day of the competition, I realized that this dream was not acceptable, because the first day of the competition, I was trying to write, to understand the data. And I saw that some competitors was trying to push a lot of codes with 1,000 line of codes that was really optimized, and they called these codes bad solution. So this was a depression. And so I decided during this depression to start my PhD. I decided to stop to do my PhD. And the last year of my PhD, I discovered a challenge that was organized by Huawei, but just between students. So this was a real big opportunity for me, because I could compete in a fairer way with people. So I decided to join this competition. It was a great opportunity. And the problem of this competition was not so easy. It was about predicting the complaint of some user in an optical network. So the idea was to try to assess the quality of the service in order to do predictive maintenance. There was a lot of challenges in terms of machine learning, like transfer learning and supervised learning and so on. And so I joined in this competition that was just 10 days. And it was also a great opportunity outside of the technical part of a social event. It was kind of social event because we had a Slack where we can discuss with other students about the competition, about other things, and it was really great on this sense. And also, it was a great opportunity in terms of hiring, because first, we could discuss with some experts of Huawei that organized the challenge. We can interact with them, ask them some question about the challenge, ask them some question about the Huawei also. And it was also great because it was the chance to work on real problem of Huawei and to know exactly what you need to expect if you are hired as Huawei employees. So this was a great opportunity in terms of hiring. And also, from the Huawei point of view, it was also great because you know this tiring process of making coding tests that is not maybe good, or sometimes the student can be in stress. But from the hiring people, it's also good because they can assess the quality of the student. And last, personally, what I learned from this experience was great because first, technically, I learned a lot because I need to do some error in order to know why I did this error. And emotionally, also, I learned a lot from my life, my personal life, because the challenge was just 10 days intense, and you need to provide a solution to a difficult problem in a short time. So it was a great experience. So thank you for listening me. I hope that this story can convince you to participate to some challenges and maybe can inspire a movie. Thank you.
Thank you, Malik. That was really, really inspiring. And while the team is getting the stage ready for our next panelists, I want to share with you a personal story. And it starts this way. One day, I had a dream. This sentence sounds familiar, I know. But it's totally true. One day, I had a dream. And as a Huawei employee, I brought it to Huawei. And this dream was to create the schools for female leadership in the digital age, which at that time didn't exist, was just a dream that probably many of us shared, but no one dared to make happen or to support. When I pitched this idea in Huawei, the first thing that my superior, my boss, told me was like, drop everything you're doing at this moment. This is the future. Women are the future of the digital revolution, and we must support them. So, with the support of Huawei, my dream has come true. Not only it has come true, in 1.5 years since the project was born, and Leslie also introduced it before, we have held already 3 schools, 2 summer schools for female leadership in the digital age, and 1 winter school for female leadership also in the digital age. We have received more than 6,000 applications from students across Europe, which makes us so proud. And our alumni, our brilliant alumni, our next-gen change makers, that I know many of them are watching online, are the future of Europe. They will shape tech policy from many angles, and they will also shape the tech sector. So, as much as I am so proud of them. And by the way, one of them is Ines. She's with us here today, so don't hesitate to talk to her. And another one was Ana Margarida, who spoke at the Green Transition panel earlier on. So, with so much pride in my heart, I can only now give the floor to our amazing Seeds for the Future students, who are also the future and the hope of Europe and of the digital revolution, and to my dear colleague Carsten Sens, the Vice President for Corporate Communications in Huawei, Germany, who will actually moderate and introduce to you this amazing panel. Thank you. Carsten, please.
So thank you very much, Berta. It's great to be here. As you said, I'm doing the corporate communication of Huawei in Germany, and I've been working for Huawei already for 12 years, and I'm also responsible for Seeds for the Future, which is in Germany called Digital Seeds in Germany, and we started with this in 2013. And for me, one of the greatest experiences during this program is that we as a company are not only giving our experience and know-how and networks to students, but it's much more mutual inspiration of each other between students and us, and this is really great for us. And I think the best case for this is the topic of sustainability and green tech that we will talk here tonight about. I think everybody knows, I mean, especially sustainability is really the topic that young people have pushed into, as a topic, into societies all over the world. And I would like to thank you all, young people, for doing this, and I can only encourage you to go on and bring your ideas really into reality in future. So tonight we have here 3 of our students, 3 outstanding students who have participated, students and graduates who have participated at Seeds for the Future programs in Ireland, Germany, and France. And we start with a short introduction. Rachel, maybe you might start about what are you doing and who are you?
Thank you, Carsten. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a good evening. My name is Rachel Byrne, and I'm from Dublin, Ireland. And I participated in Seeds for the Future back in 2020. So it was the first year that it went digital. And since then, I have collaborated with Huawei on a number of media and CSR projects related to technology and the environment. I've recently completed my degree in environmental science in Trinity College Dublin, and I've just begun my career in the finance industry, where I'm hoping to build my career in ESG or sustainable finance. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Rachel. So next one is Daniel, and I can say he's one of the youngest students that ever participated in our program in Germany. When he applied for it, he was 18, and now he's 19. So Daniel, what are you doing?
Yeah, hello also from my side. My name is Daniel Mendes-Jenner, and I'm currently studying in my third semester of my bachelor's degree in Global Environmental and Sustainability Studies at Leuphana University in Lüneburg in Germany. And as you might have noticed, my family name is not really German. I'm actually half Brazilian. So I've always been very interested in other cultures and languages. And this is the reason why I chose to start learning Chinese since school. And this was also the reason for me to apply for the Digital Seeds program and to get some experiences there. Because I realized that sustainability is something where we try to fight global problems, global issues, and where it's very important to get more knowledge about intercultural exchange and collaboration in order to solve these problems together. Thanks.
Thank you, Daniel. And Sarah here from, I think from Paris, right? What about you?
Thank you, and thank you everyone for having me today. So my name is Sarah. I'm actually from Lebanese origins, but I'm based in France. I took part in Seeds for the Future 2022. And a little bit about my background, I'm an architect by training, and basically I founded a startup in the fashion technology industry, which is a green business that helps designers and the fashion industry becomes more sustainable and optimize their manufacturing processes. I also as well have been very active in the startup ecosystem, and I've been raising awareness about the importance of integrating green technology and green practices within enterprises.
Thank you, Sarah. So, Sarah, we are talking a lot about dreams and visions of sustainability and of green tech. How can we change the world into a better one? But where do you see currently still the main gap between what we are dreaming and what the reality is?
Basically, when we talk about green technology, it is fairly a very simple concept. It's basically the actions that we put in place in the aim of reversing the human impact and the impact of the human activity. So in its concept, it's very basic, but the gap is from where the application is being put into place. And for me, from a personal point of view, I think the biggest gap is coming from the place of policies and regulations. There is so much work still to be put in that place in order to further accelerate these innovations, to accelerate their applications, and to structure more the way these innovations are being created and they are being catered for. So that's one of the main gaps today. But on a further point, there's the point of accessibility. And when I talk about accessibility, there's the financial accessibility of sustainability and green tech, allowing modest households to have access to different options and different innovations in green technology and making it accessible financially to everyone. But when we talk about accessibility, there's also education. So there's a lot of, there's a gap in that area as well. There's so much to do in order to facilitate this transition and increase the awareness of sustainability and introduce it more in our educational programs in schools and even universities.
Thank you, Sarah, for this insight. I think all these challenges really need cooperation between really companies, individuals, policymakers, regulators, and so on. It's really, I think, as you also see it, I think the biggest challenge we have. So, Daniel, what is for you within all these challenges at the moment, the most important thing we should do, or the gap that we see?
So first of all, I think that if we are talking about green technology, we are usually focusing a lot on the benefits. And it makes sense. Many technologies come from companies, and why should a company talk about the bad aspects about it? And in sustainability science, we always try to get a more holistic view where we try to look at things from different perspectives. And in this case, I'd like to raise awareness for the infrastructure that we need to have the capacity for these green technologies. For example, electric vehicles. If you think about electric vehicles, we are talking about an energy consumption that we never had before in each household, and that we have to produce this energy first. And sure, there are fossil fuels that we can economize due to this, but in the end, there's still a new energy demand that we have to face. And if I think about Germany, our infrastructure is still not green enough to guarantee that this energy is really green. So I think it's really hard to talk about green technology if we know that the energy demand we will need for these new complex data streams and this huge amount of data that we have in the future and these complex systems, where it's just very difficult to guarantee that it's really green if the energy behind it, it's still not green.
Thank you. I mean, I hope that you have seen some solutions that companies like Huawei are developing today on this event here, especially on the exhibition area. I think we have understood this, and everybody is now really working a lot to change this and to provide really technologies that really save more energies than before. So we always talk a lot about the challenges as well as the solutions, especially here in Europe, but it's also important to just do things, and I think that's something for, which is what makes us as a company really strong. We have a very clear strategic focus, and we have a really high execution rate. And all of you are also really already not just talking, but also doing things that you think are the right things and have to be done. So Rachel, I know that you already started quite early. I think already before you participated at Seeds for the Future program in Ireland with something. So tell us, what was your first big green tech project?
So for my undergraduate research project, I was working alongside a nonprofit tree planting organization called Easy Treesy. So their aim is to plant over 1 million trees across Ireland by the end of 2024, which is no easy feat, particularly in areas of high density populations like cities and suburbs. So my research focused on assessing the longevity and sustainability of these projects. So basically what I did was I created an AI model that could predict the chances of survival of trees based on the levels of human activity in their plantation areas. So with the data that my model gathered, appropriate protection could be implemented to protect the trees that had the highest risk of damage or death, to put it bluntly. So a lot of these nonprofit organizations obviously heavily rely on public donations, and planting trees is quite costly. I counted thousands of euro worth of trees that had been damaged or hadn't survived. But like I said, with the data that my model gathered, appropriate action could be taken to protect the trees with the highest risk of death or damage. And kind of change up the layout of these plantations in relation to proximity to human activity while keeping within a realistic budget. So I think there is a real emphasis, particularly in the last couple of years, on scientists learning digital skills. So biologists like myself, we have to master technological as well as traditional research and field skills. Yeah, so like as you've seen here today from some of the incredible and inspirational speakers, the scientific community is really embracing and celebrating these advances because they're the key to like a brighter future for all of us.
Great, thank you very much. And also Sarah, you also have your own very special project. Could you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so basically, before I start introducing the project, I just wanted to start the 3 main points that came to my mind in order to create a project that today led to a startup. There were 3 basic elements that I had to think about. The first is to be open to use the set of skills I had as an architect and be open enough in order to apply them in an industry where it will need my set of skills. The second one was curiosity. I had the urge to ask myself questions where in your daily life you might not even think about. And the third point was that I had a mindset that I wanted to propose a solution, but that doesn't end up creating another problem. So the first question I asked myself is, where do my clothes come from? The fashion industry is something we all contribute in, whether we like it or not. We contribute to this industry and we contribute to the pollution that this industry creates. And that was the main question that I asked myself, and that led me to see an industry where it's polluting in terms of water waste, in terms of fabric waste, in terms of human cruelty when it comes to labor conditions and so on. So it opened a vast industry with so much room in order to optimize and to work on improving. And that's how I started with a project that today is an actual startup. And what we do is basically we are a B2B service. We work with fashion designers in order to help them optimize their fabrication process. And that happens on 2 steps. The first one is basically working with designers to digitize their conceptual process, which is basically today very traditional, very handmade. They still sketch on paper, they cut patterns on paper, that produces lots of paper waste, fabric waste, and lots of time. So today, the first solution is a website, is a platform that allows them to create their designs and prototype them digitally, and which will allow them to enter the second phase of having AI-generated designs, and that's all with the advantage of using the cloud. And the second part of the service and the solution is offering sustainable and biodegradable textiles by utilizing 3D printing to create textiles that are similar to leather, that are biodegradable, zero waste, cruelty-free, and you don't need to put any more children or women under poor working conditions, because today the machine can do it for you. And these people can just work in the assembly part of it. So we do not eliminate the human factor, we just reduce the labor that is carried by them. So eventually it ends up with a solution that helps designers from the design to the actual prototyping and the manufacturing aspect of the fashion industry.
Great, thank you very much, Sarah. I think everybody can see here we have the people that we need. We have the young people and the young women here in Europe that we really need to change Europe into more digital and more sustainable at the same time. And that's exactly what we also want to contribute to with our Seeds for the Future program. I'm always traveling a lot around in Germany explaining what it really is, but now I would like to give the word to Daniel to explain a little bit what was for you in the Seeds for the Future program in Germany the most, what helped you the most for your development, for your career maybe?
So this is actually a very difficult answer that I will give now, because there are a lot of things in my mind concerning this. But I will try to focus on 2 key main aspects. So first of all, I experienced that many people in higher positions with much more experience and success in their life, because they are already 20 or even 30 years older than me, are even more approachable than you might think at our age. And at these events, there were a lot of people that could share their experience and that were very interested in connecting with us, because they are applying to these events as a juror, for example, because they want to get in touch with people in our age and they want to get inspired by our idea and our motivation that we still have when we're starting to study and to try to understand the world. And this is very good because I know a lot of people that are scared to talk to people that are, for example, CEOs or something, or Carsten is also in a very high position. And then we realize that they're way more similar to us than we might thought at first glance. And this is a very important competence to learn how to approach these people and to be less scared of them. And another thing I'd like to share is the motivation I get from this, because it accelerated a lot in my life. I think the last months were the most exciting and fully packed months of my whole life. I traveled a lot, I experienced a lot, and it motivated me to decide what I want to do by my own and to get other opportunities besides the program that I wouldn't have thought about before. And also the stage here. I'm very proud to have this opportunity to speak up for sustainability at this stage, at other stages, and this is something I didn't even could imagine before of this program, so I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you. We are also very grateful that you are in our program. And Rachel, what did you gain from the Seeds for the Future program?
So I think the most important aspect that stands out to me about my experience in Seeds for the Future is that it created such a great opportunity for students to build a network. The program really emphasized the power of collaboration across all disciplines. So my cohort, for example, there were students with backgrounds in computer science, business, astrophysics, chemistry, and other sciences, people that I wouldn't have otherwise had the opportunity to meet and get to know if it wasn't for the SEEDS program. So working with such a diverse group of people, it really opened my mind to different perspectives and alternative ways of thinking that not only benefited me in my studies, but also in my personal life in general. So I would say the program doesn't just end once you complete it. Like, you are forever part of the SEEDS family, and there are so many opportunities and alumni events to get to know other SEEDS from around the world. Like, it's such an incredible opportunity, and we're all so lucky to be a part of it. For me personally, the program has given me opportunities that I could have only ever dreamed of. Last summer, I had the opportunity to work alongside Dr. Jane Goodall, and collaborate with her on a webinar where we discussed our thoughts and perspectives on how we think technology can be our ally in the fight against climate catastrophe. And now I'm here on this stage with these amazing and incredible and inspiring future leaders. And yeah, I just feel so lucky. So this year in Ireland for the Irish SEEDS program, they're offering €5,000 scholarships to the top 50 students. So that's €250,000 altogether. Like, it's incredible. So it's such an opportunity. So if anyone out there is considering applying, do it. You won't regret it. Only good can come out of it. So embrace every challenge and push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you never know where it might lead you.
Now you have given a lot of pressure to all the other countries here in Europe. But thank you very much, and I think there's really nothing to add from my side to do more advertisement for this program. I just want, and we promise to stay within 20 minutes, and we will do it. Just one more information from my side for the students from France who are here tonight. The application phase for Seeds for the Future in France will start soon, and if you need more information about the program here in France, then you can also go to the booth. It's called Talent Numérique. It's the French name of Seeds for the Future here in France. So thank you all very, very much, and it was great to be here with you, and I think it gives us all a lot of hope for our future to see these great talents. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karsten, and thank you to our dear alumni. That was fantastic. That was so inspiring. And with this, we have come to the end of the night. For those watching us globally, for those watching us from every corner of the world. For you here, don't move yet. We have to do some things before leaving the room. But for the rest, it's been a pleasure. I am Berta Herrero, Head of Equality, Diversity and Inclusion at Huawei EU. And let me remind you that at Huawei, our mission is to bring digital to every person, home and organization for a fully connected and intelligent world. It's been beautiful, and I would love to see you again next year. So thank you, world. Thank you, Europe.